2 states, 1 team. But once upon a time, the Carolina Panthers were just a dream.
They said it would be a cold day in hell when we got an NFL team.
It was revolutionary in its own way.
Since the beginning, Channel 9 has been here through the highs and lows.
I think there was a little bit of sadness among the fans here.
The defeats.
It's supposed to go the other way.
And victories.
Now all of a sudden there's that, hey, we can get this done.
See what it took to push the Carolinas from dream to team.
Our story about a professional team coming to Charlotte begins not with the NFL, but with the NBA. In April 1987, the National Basketball Association awarded the Queen City the Hornets, one of 4 expansion teams, thanks to the efforts of George Shinn.
The applause here at the Charlotte Coliseum was all for George Shinn himself, who convinced the NBA that Charlotte was indeed a major league city, at a time when even the city itself didn't believe it.
About a year after the Hornets were granted the franchise here, Jerry Richardson started talking about bringing the NFL to Charlotte. Whoa, wait a minute. We're going from big to wow.
The name and the face may not be familiar yet, but Jerry Richardson and his family know all about Charlotte.
You go back to 1987 when Jerry Richardson said, hey, I want to bring an NFL franchise to Charlotte. People are going like, first of all, are you sure?
We think that this is one of the most dynamic parts of the United States.
And secondly is, wow, that's so cool.
But the Richardsons also have at least one local competitor. Speedway owner Bruton Smith has proposed a stadium of his own. And this afternoon, Speedway president Humpy Wheeler said they are planning to go ahead with their plans for a $15 to $20 million stadium there.
George Shinn is counting on his pro sports experience. In fact, Shinn says he applied to the NFL before he applied to the NBA.
Our original goal was football. The same letter that the gentleman from South Carolina has sent, we have sent also.
But Richardson is pulling some big strings in the business and civic community here to make up that ground.
He's a very determined man, and if Jerry says we're going to have an NFL team here in Charlotte, we are.
Therein may lie the biggest problem for the proposal, though. Richardson knows that half a dozen other cities also looking to join the NFL already have stadiums. Richardson says the stadium would be built somewhere within a 25-mile radius of Charlotte and could be built in 2 to 3 years once the city lands a team.
The people making the decision where the stadium will go spent the day here at the offices of sports consultant Max Molman. Molman and Mark Richardson told Eyewitness News the stadium site has not yet been determined. York County, South Carolina wants the stadium built here on a site near Carowinds. And in Cabarrus County, officials are pushing 2 sites on Highway 29. One across from Philip Morris, the other near the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
There's a good many people I've talked to said if it's uptown Charlotte, where there's going to be a lot of congestion, they just feel like they just wouldn't go.
And the conventional wisdom at the time was it had to go out into the suburbs because you put it in the uptown area and you have traffic problems, you have parking problems. It's just more convenient to put it out into the suburbs.
This morning at a groundbreaking in York County, South Carolina Governor Carol Campbell was holding out hope that the stadium wouldn't be built in Charlotte.
If it goes into downtown Charlotte, it would not be a Team Carolinas anymore, and it would be a Team Charlotte. If it's located anywhere along the borders on either side, then you would still have this concept of the 2 states working together.
The city of Charlotte hopes it's in the driver's seat, with money already committed to an uptown site and a powerful business community wooing the Richardsons.
Michael, you hadn't heard anything. Not yet.
Like being at the hospital waiting on David to be born.
Well, how about you?
We were on the phone last night, late into the night and early this morning. They were incredible offers.
Yeah, they looked at other locations. But this location, the uptown location, was really, I think, always the place that it was going to be.
It's no surprise these city and county officials are cheering the Uptown Stadium decision, standing and cheering for what they call Charlotte history in the making.
It seems to me, in my judgment, it's less of a burden on the taxpayers of North and South Carolina for us to go to the uptown site.
All right, appreciate it, bud. Bye.
They make the regular announcement, huh?
What's up? Oh, jeez. Doesn't look good.
Well, say something.
Mike says he's heard it's downtown Charlotte.
I'm afraid it doesn't sound good, does it?
It really shifted the gravity of development in the downtown area and shifted the mindset, really, as to where a sports venue of this size could be.
Locating Charlotte's NFL Stadium uptown also means relocating for 200 elderly folks who live here at the Magnolias Rest Home.
Charlotte natives might remember the Magnolias Rest Home located between Mint and Graham Streets, but did you know that the building dated back to 1892? Known as the Good Samaritan Hospital, the facility was one of the only hospitals to serve the city's African-American population. An historical marker outside of the stadium commemorates this bit of Charlotte history in a city that is still growing. By 1990, the city began its renovation of the 3rd Ward.
That isn't to say that all of us don't want a team. We do want a team now.
But City Council member Don Reed still argues it's risky business, paving these streets and buying this land for a new stadium, all at taxpayer expense.
This should be totally a private investment, and the public should have nothing to do with it. The people of Charlotte would vote 90%, let's get our team. But if we don't get it, it's going to be a disaster.
Well, the push for a team started 6 long years ago. Has it been that long? Just last month, NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue narrowed that list of cities that may get a franchise down to 5. There also needs to be a great deal of support from the football fan.
Almost 18,000 fans showed up to see Charlotte's debut into the Arena Football League. Charlotte's long since proven itself as a major sports town, but this kind of support for arena football sure can't hurt.
We need the NFL. I'm waiting on season tickets to go on sale. I'm going to go to the bank, take out a loan or whatever, as long as we can get the NFL team.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. And I think we're going to prove it tonight with this.
Citizens in this region have got to now start showing the world why we want it and how badly we want it.
Let's go NFL!
Light a torch. Give it your all, Charlotte. All for the chance at an NFL team. But how do you prove to the NFL commissioners that Charlotte will be there? Through banners? How about billboards? What the NFL commissioners apparently want to see are numbers of people, a lot of people packing the streets saying, if you put the seats in Charlotte, we will fill them. Now we're talking to David Waymer of the LA Raiders.
Okay.
What's your opinion? Should Charlotte get the team?
Let me tell you something. I think that it would be the NFL's loss, not for Charlotte not to have a team.
It's an unusual business dilemma for the Richardsons. Interest is so intense for NFL football here that hundreds of people have sent letters and money unsolicited trying to beat the rush for season tickets to a team that doesn't yet exist in a stadium that has not yet been built.
I think the largest deposit that we've received so far has been $8,000, which unfortunately we had to turn around and send back.
Now, the city's competing with Charlotte. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a piece of cake to win it here because the other cities, the Jacksonvilles, the Memphises too, they're prepared to fight this thing right down to the final whistle.
Bottom line will be the bottom line. Which cities can offer the most money to visiting teams? And that's where Memphis may be at a disadvantage because the Liberty Bowl doesn't offer as many luxury seats as the new stadiums will in St. Louis, Baltimore, and of course Charlotte.
Now, what about Jacksonville? Considered a long shot by many. Investors there, very optimistic. They're planning a big expansion of the Gator Bowl. They've already picked Jaguars as the name of their team.
Others wonder if Charlotte's NFL investors can really afford to both buy a team and build a ballpark with private financing. A newspaper in Baltimore even quotes NFL owners concerned about Charlotte's plan for privately funded stadium, worrying that the league can't afford a new team starting out with such a huge debt. Others, like these city workers protesting for more money earlier this year, wonder how much of their pay raises are helping the Richardsons pay for a new stadium instead.
Why does he need $43 million from the employees of the city of Charlotte? Because that's where I think our dollars have gone.
To fund the project, the Richardsons tried something that was never attempted before.
The Richardsons say the goal is to sell out every season ticket. Otherwise, they can't afford to build this new NFL stadium.
Every seat, PSL seat, every club seat, every luxury suite that we put on the market this summer needs to be sold.
PSLs, personal seat licenses, which is to say, you put money up front, that money would go to build this stadium, and would entitle you to buy season tickets. That wasn't your season ticket money. It just got you into the club, as it were.
And your chance to get permanent seats in the best football stadium ever designed.
These commercials start running right away, and it's first come, first served starting July 1st.
By the end of the first day, all luxury suites had sold out, and over 40,000 PSL orders had been purchased.
Looks like we had a good day, and it looks like Santa Claus did show up.
The stadium would be financed through these pre-orders. Now the fans just had to wait.
In the office where I work at, everyone's been talking about it, and we're pretty much sure that we're going to get it.
Hype is definitely the word of the day. Call it NFL hype as it gets closer to final decision time in Chicago.
Officially, NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue isn't sharing any secrets here in Chicago.
Morning, Commissioner. Morning.
Neither are these NFL owners.
Any thoughts on expansion? Down here. Any thoughts on expansion? No, I really don't. Any progress inside? Yeah, and I just had a nice little conversation with Tim McCaskey, and he says that he thinks we're in terrific shape, and I think we are.
But for now, it's all up to these owners.
You just hope you'd like to be a mouse and sit in the corner and find out, how it proceeds. But we think we've got a strong message.
I'm very pleased to announce that the Carolina Panthers have been unanimously selected as the
It's a name that we've liked in our family for a long time, and we wanted to pick something sleek, powerful, and graceful, and that's the animal we came up with.
It was Charlotte's version of pandemonium. 6 years of NFL fever unleashed in the heart of Uptown.
And the fans are excited. That's what's so good about it. Everybody's involved.
The Richardsons are riding high these days, much like the city itself. A city where everyone, from the biggest boosters to the littlest cheerleaders and football players, took a Friday afternoon off to march together toward a future that spelled NFL.
Fans have already spent thousands of dollars on T-shirts and hats. This was the scene the day after the NFL awarded the Panthers to the Richardsons, and merchandise sales in the last quarter of last year put the Panthers third in the NFL, and that was before the team had signed a single player.
Here's what the stadium site looked like 4 years ago. It's Charlotte past. This is the present, and here's a look at the future. But there's much more in store for the Uptown.
You see the streets full of people and cars coming from every direction.
Mike Schneiderman thinks the NFL will change the face of Uptown, revitalize it, with new hotels, restaurants, entertainment, and people. Uptown real estate experts, too, say everything near the stadium is a real candidate for development.
And what we see today is the parking lots, but once we put a jewel like a stadium here, what we're going to see is a belief in the potential that this area is alive again.
People have told me that one of the safest places you can be is downtown Charlotte at night because everybody's gone.
Gone because Uptown Charlotte is known as a place to be Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. On evenings and weekends, these crowds just disappear. Business leaders say that's going to change, especially on game days.
We expect a booming business. We expect full houses on Sundays.
This at a restaurant and lounge that's not even open on Sundays now. The staff at Alexander Michaels is serving up big plans. They believe in Panther power, ready to attract new business, new people who want a piece of Queen City action.
At Founders Hall to watch the draft on the big screen. A lot of workers on their lunch break saying, hey, this is neat. And they went wild when the first pick of the Panthers was announced.
Defensive back from New England, Rod Smith.
Well, they were eating lunch. They couldn't get too excited, saving it up for the big college draft. Okay, so maybe they didn't go wild. Well, maybe we'll give them a little time to get cranked up.
Not exactly a who's who, more like a who. Behind me, kind of a depth chart of the 35 guys the Panthers picked. You've got to look awfully close to find a name that's kind of recognizable. You know, teams put on their list 14 former Pro Bowl guys, 12 former first-round picks, a Heisman Trophy winner, a Super Bowl MVP, but the Panthers said, thanks, but no thanks.
You know, everybody's making a big deal about the less salaried. We said that going in, what we wanted were players who knew how to practice, We got a lot of players, young players, off of teams that have been in the playoffs who know how to win. They're what we call character guys. They are enthusiastic about playing the game of football.
Coach Dom Capers will prowl the sidelines this weekend for the first time since the late 70s when he coached in a college bowl game. His players say that when he does speak, they listen, as opposed to a ranting and raving coach who never stops yelling. He's been honest about his new team's chances, but knows the pressure is there to win.
The Carolina Panthers looked battle ready. Their first matchup would take them far from the stage of the Carolinas and into the national spotlight against a team just as hungry for victory.
The regularly scheduled program will not be seen, so we can bring you this Eyewitness News special.
Catfight in Canton. Now here's Channel 9's Bill Walker and Debbie Fabian.
With just 2 weeks of training under their belts, the Panthers will hit the field tomorrow in their first official game, and they are pumped. When they arrived in Canton, there were lots of fans there. The Panthers were dressed casually, while Jacksonville arrived in their coats and ties. Just another sign of some of the opposite philosophy at work on these two teams.
The bus is full of fans with plenty of Panther pride, heading to Canton, Ohio this morning, ready to watch that first Panthers game.
And this Hall of Fame game is just the start. This is what every football Sunday will be like in Clemson this year, and Charlotte next year.
The noise level and the fun level for fans climbed even higher when the Panthers scored their first touchdown.
I love the Panthers, Carolina. I moved from New York to come here.
What do you think about it?
It's great.
Couldn't get to Canton? No matter. Canton could hear them from here.
It's just a wonderful feeling and a wonderful time in our lives to have this happen to us and to be able to be here for the birth of it.
A lot of impressive performances for the Panthers in their first season, no doubt about that. But perhaps nothing stronger than the job done by first-year head coach Dom Capers. He guided the Panthers to their best ever record, not only for them, but for an expansion team as well in the National Football League. He was runner-up in voting for Coach of the Year.
You know, once we beat the Jets, it was like, well, this team knows what it takes to win.
Well, I can't say enough about Sam Mills. I'll just say this, that I wouldn't trade Sam Mills for anybody.
The Panthers have been promising a first-class facility for the football team and for you fans as well beginning next season. That's exactly what's taking shape in Uptown Charlotte.
All right. It's not a stadium, not yet, but on this groundbreaking day, it's hard not to think ahead. Even the gray skies and the chilly weather give it the feel of a fall football Sunday.
They said it would be a cold day in hell when we got an NFL team, and it is.
First, though, you'll have to wait through 2 years of construction before this turns into this.
This is the vision. Carolina's Stadium.
It started slowly at first, the work we couldn't see, grading and digging. But now Carolina Stadium is beginning to take shape, steel and concrete pieced together like a giant erector set. Inside the stadium, the enormity of the project boggles the mind. Workers say they've got about 12 million pounds of rebar in place, along with about 100,000 cubic yards of concrete. But you can now clearly see some of what the stadium will offer players and fans.
And one of the most intriguing features of the stadium is right here. It's a racquetball court. In fact, 2 racquetball courts. Had a chance to see this the last time we came through. Like the rest of the stadium, it's getting a lot closer to completion. In fact, contractors here say the team should be ready to play football and racquetball by June 1996.
From the tremendous archways that greet you when you come in to the Panther statues that will go here with the names of every PSL holder inscribed at the base, all the way down to the width of the seats, each with cup holders and program holders. It's all for the Panther fans.
So this is the house. Always wanted to arrive in style. You talk about first class. I thought my chauffeur, Ron Johnson, was first class. This is unbelievable. Look at the view from up here. Wow. The nosebleed section with $1 million skyline view. Awesome. And when you look down, it's not seats you see, but
but only field.
We were in here yesterday. I have to tell you, this may be the best stadium in the country. I mean, it looks like they did everything exactly right.
Thousands of Carolinians helped pay for Erickson Stadium with a personal seat license.
This is absolutely beautiful.
Lifetime seats in a stadium they helped build.
I guess this is what Carolina Blue is all about. After how many years? Gosh, I can't believe it. It's worth it. Now I want a hot dog, you know?
Panthers fans sure know how to eat and drink, but some people have said they don't exactly know how to cheer.
I don't know. They try to convince them to cheer. It's like telling your 3-year-old eat vegetables. They're either going to do it or they're not.
Go Panthers!
But Panthers fans are more of a wine and cheese crowd. They're dressed up, not down.
These Panther fans prefer a fancy feast at their private parking place off South Tryon Street. Their menu includes wine, cheese, and crab salad.
When the stadium was built, all of these seats you see behind me were pretty much spoken for by people who would put up anywhere from $600 for the cheapest of seats, and most of them were $1,200, $1,800, up to, again, $5,400 for the most expensive. So you had almost by definition the wine and cheese crowd that built this stadium.
It's shirts on at Panthers games, otherwise you run the risk of being thrown out. Football fanatics frown on the Panthers fan regulations. They want craziness like this
Gary, throw the ball down field
to be the rule rather than the exception.
We're like the team. We're a baby. We're just learning how to go. It just seems that this team out on the field is a lot farther along than we are.
Make no mistake about it, the fans are extremely important. They're important to our defense. I mean, they get me into the game, they motivate me.
Are you hot?
It's real hot, real hot.
Why do you go through all this trouble?
Because I like the Carolina Panthers. I like being here with the fans.
The best was yet to come. The two biggest games in franchise history, the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. The defending Super Bowl champion Cowboys walked onto the field with thoughts of another title run. They were jacked, but the Panthers were equal to the challenge and then some.
I tell you, this team is definitely blessed, and we're just happy, and we're not done yet. And it was a great game. No one believed that we could do it. Hey, it feels good. I have one question.
Shoot it to me.
Hey, I want to know if Barry Switzer knows where Charlotte, North Carolina is now.
I think the best thing we could ever have done is have Billy Graham come in here and dedicate this stadium. Ooh. Hey, that's power, baby. Don't mess with that power. Hot dog.
Packers!
1 week later, it's on to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. The NFC Championship game against the Green Bay Packers. The wind chill down to 23 below zero.
Panther fans would leave their reverence in the pews, but bring all of their faith with them as the big game approached. But this time, being first wouldn't last, and little by little the faithful could see their dreams slipping away. By the fourth quarter, Panther black and blue began to look, well, black and blue. Suddenly, funny hats weren't funny anymore. Not even the cheese grater on Mary Beth Boda's head.
And what do you fans and the members of this football team have in common? You both feel a lot of disappointment tonight, sure. But when you pause and look back on the season, you'll smile and you'll say, gosh, it indeed was a great ride.
We're still division champions. We're 12-4. We beat Dallas. We beat San Fran twice. Pride of the Carolinas, baby. That's it, baby. Panthers #1 always.
Capers knew his fate long before he took the podium this afternoon.
I've been in professional football now for 15 years, and I understand the bottom line. So I know how things go. All right, that you have to win.
The Panthers weren't winning, and it was something as simple as that that cost Capers his job.
The Panthers' second head coach, George Seifert, led the team to numerous victories. But after a 15-game losing streak in 2001, fans were ready for change.
This top cat didn't dance. Jerry Richardson was direct and forthright with the new direction of his football team.
We're going to go forward. We're going to reevaluate the entire organization, which you would expect any business person to do. and we're going to begin a search for a new head coach.
Fans are upset and demand more from their team.
My pleasure to introduce you to John Fox.
John Fox is the third coach in Panthers team history, and he was cat quick with the one-liners. Listen to his description of being a first-time head coach.
I liken it to when we elect a president. He hasn't been president before, but we have a leap of faith, and we put our whole country in his hands.
And we will wait and see what kind of coach he truly is.
And then 2003 came, and they found magic again. And the city really, really caught fire.
Bring it back, baby!
The Panthers earned a spot in the playoffs for the first time since 1996. The team was getting ready for a showdown with the Dallas Cowboys, a game many analysts expected Carolina to lose. On the nights before that wild card game, the players got together on the practice field where they were met with none other than former linebacker Sam Mills. Earlier that year, he'd been diagnosed with intestinal cancer. But that diagnosis did not stop Mills from giving his speech that's now famous. When I found out I had cancer, there were two things I could do: quit or keep pounding. I'm a fighter. I kept pounding. You're fighters too. Keep pounding. Mills passed away in 2005, but his iconic phrase, keep pounding, lives on. Not just as a team motto, a civic catchphrase, but as a rallying cry for anyone facing insurmountable odds.
Knowing him, he was so modest. I'm pretty sure he never thought it would get to this.
However, the team still had a game to win.
A winning touchdown in the second overtime gave way to this. The yelling and cheering Panther fans at Fox and Hound told the story. Panthers win.
You gotta remember, the Panthers 2 years prior were 1-15. They were terrible.
After defeating the Dallas Cowboys, the Panthers traveled to St. Louis.
Looking back over the years, that is probably one of the greatest victories that the Carolina Panthers have ever had. It went into, I think it was a double overtime victory, and the next game was Philadelphia, and I was like, hopefully they're not gonna make me drive up to Philadelphia.
On the road to victory! E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
They're fans just like we are. They're not going to tell us what we can wear to their field.
It was Panthers fever at Dixie's Tavern tonight and at every bar uptown. Fans even braved the cold outside Fox and Hound just to get standing room only.
Under the nightlights of Philadelphia, fans from Charlotte show their colors, loud and clear. A couple thousand from North Carolina made the trip to see the Panthers pull off a big win. They put the fears of the Eagles' reputation on hold.
Uptown Charlotte was jumping Sunday night when the Panthers won the NFC Championship.
But it's the wishes from down south that came true, and in a big way. The Carolina Panthers now headed to Houston along with their fans.
This is unbelievable. I cannot believe it. Jerry Richardson, he made the commitment. Super Bowl in 10 years, and here we are.
Victory against the Eagles sent Carolina to the Super Bowl for the first time in history. And while the hometown stadium changed names, all eyes were looking towards Houston.
Panther Mania is reaching a feverish pitch as we get closer to the big game, the Super Bowl. And the hype can be seen and heard all over the Charlotte area. Northeast Cabarrus Middle School roared its praise for the Panthers.
We're having a blast. We're out here supporting our Carolina team.
Enthusiasm that everyone hopes spills over to the Panthers hundreds of miles away and helps them ride the wave into the world of Super Bowl champions.
That feeling of almost certain success has spread like wildfire. It's hard to find someone without Panther gear here, and those who came without,
grab that bib, that's my last bib,
are spending a fortune to catch up.
Well, they are now anyway, says college shop owner Dennis Edwards. He stopped selling Panthers merchandise 2 years ago. Edwards says for years you couldn't give away Panther stuff.
The business got so bad that we got completely out of the Panther items. Until this year, there really wasn't very little market for the Panther items.
But that changed overnight. Now the shirts, hats, and flags are everywhere. And if you don't sell it while the team's winning, you lose.
Winning produces fans. Where were these fans 2 years ago?
Neither snow, rain, nor sleet could keep thousands of Carolina Panthers fans from giving their team a proper Super Bowl send-off in uptown Charlotte.
My prediction for Sunday's game is defense. Defense. Panthers 20, Patriots 12. I'm going to be legendary after this.
It is hard to put in words the excitement outside the stadium.
I'm going nuts before I get inside, so I know I'll be going nuts when I get out.
Are you in disbelief that you're here, or what?
Kind of, yeah.
I think I'm dreaming. Kickoff is just a few minutes away. I have my ticket, and we'll be heading indoors shortly.
You know, you might go through a couple seasons where, hey, we're not that great, and then all of a sudden, you know, the excitement builds again. We've got a team, we've got players, we're making this playoff run.
They were pumped up even before the kickoff. Let's go Panthers! And once the game began, the cheers occasionally eased off.
Come on, Panthers! Okay, come on, Panthers!
And they fired right back up. The game face slowly turned to a still stare, then towel wringing.
I know we're going to win it, baby. I know it. I know we're going to win.
She's almost certain.
We better win, or I'm going to eat some dirt tomorrow.
As Reliance Stadium emptied out, the crowd walked with smiles. And Carolina fans left in disbelief.
We're the Cardiac Cats, so we kind of expected it to just be that way, go into overtime and win.
I think everybody was just looking in disbelief. It was a game that had the blue and black holding on until the very end. The thousands of fans traveled hundreds of miles to get here. And on this Monday morning, they go back to Charlotte, not upset and not angry with the loss. Instead, they hold their heads high.
I think everybody knows who Charlotte is now, I guarantee you that. There's a lot of people here that didn't know where Charlotte was. We're on the map today.
The game was just incredible. It's the best game I think I've seen in Super Bowl in a long time, since I'd say 70s.
How about them Panthers, huh?
Victory or not, fans gave the team plenty of reasons to feel like champions today. Proud and faithful followers waited patiently for the bus to pull in.
I promise you we're going to get back, and it's going to be a different kind of celebration. I can promise you that. Thank you guys for all your support. We appreciate it.
Carolina returned to the playoffs in the 2005 season, culminating in the conference championship at Seattle.
And we got out there, you know, again, a couple days early, and you know, it's a much, you know, it's all the way across the country. There weren't a lot of Panther fans there yet. So before going out there, I bought a Panthers flag.
Climb up to the top of that Space Needle, take down their flag, and then put up ours.
5 minutes is all I wanted. Some 500 feet up on top of the Space Needle. Raise the Panthers' colors high above the Emerald City. But we didn't fail completely.
Go Panthers! Woo!
There was a police officer who really thought it was kind of a funny story, and he said, hey, why don't I handcuff you and I'll take you away from the Space Needle.
Although in the end, we may have worn out our welcome a little bit.
Go Panthers! Go Panthers!
And you know, the team was really, we had great running backs in that team, and you know, there was a lot of hope for that team, but it just didn't come together.
Despite the hype, Carolina would not reach the Super Bowl that year or the next year, and would only qualify once for the playoffs, falling short in the divisional round. Then came a string of losses in 2009, and then in 2010.
And I'm not an insider. I wasn't behind the closed doors, but it appeared that something went south between John Fox and Jerry Richardson, and maybe those in between. It was almost like an uncomfortable divorce, where a couple has decided they're going to get a divorce, and they're still sort of living in the same house. Jerry Richardson basically stopped paying for talent, and they had quarterbacks you never heard of and never heard from again playing for the team, and so he basically stripped the cupboard and said to John Fox, okay, just deal with it. This is who you have.
It's a really sad season. There are actually more Ravens fans in the game than Panthers fans, it felt like.
And everybody knew toward the end of the season that Fox wouldn't be here the next season.
A lot of great memories. I know it didn't finish like anybody wanted, but if you'd have told me in 2002, it'd been a 9-year run, I would have taken it and run.
It's amazing how well Coach Fox handled it. Every week was frustrating. Even the games we won were never clear, decisive wins. It was always an uphill struggle. And Coach Fox always just kept the message positive.
Around the league, the perception wasn't that John Fox forgot how to be a good coach. The perception was that this was a divorce and it was ugly and he wasn't given the tools to succeed.
It was difficult because you knew that John Fox could coach. And look what happened when he left. He went to Denver, did great out in Denver. So it was just, I think there was a little bit of sadness among the fans here.
Carolina now stood on the brink of a new era. A last-place record secured the top spots in the 2011 draft. With this, the Panthers pounced at the opportunity to draft Auburn football star Cam Newton.
I'm blessed for this whole organization to put faith in me in this pick, and just I can't wait to get to my new hometown in Charlotte, man.
Also new in town, the defensive coordinator of the San Diego Chargers, Ron Rivera, who was named the team's new head coach.
Rivera came from an old-school background, playing under Chicago Bears legend Mike Ditka. Rivera's military upbringing in Northern California actually helped him as a head coach, making sure that he wasn't too strict or regimented. It also helped him learn to adjust on the fly and that having too many rules just wouldn't work with this generation.
It was back in 2004, a young Steve Smith made this prediction.
We're going to be back in the Super Bowl. That's no doubt about it.
It's a long list when it comes to the records this year's Carolina Panthers team has broken. The most notable, the wins. Until this year, no team in franchise history had ever won more than 12 games in a regular season. This year's team has 15.
Not even Dave Gettleman, the man who constructed most of this roster, can believe what the Panthers accomplished this season.
You know how hard 15-1 is? That is so flipping hard.
Now all of a sudden there's that confidence. Now all of a sudden there's that, hey, we can get this done.
Hard work, harmony, teamwork, listen, and respect. And everybody in the organization holds those principles dear. I think the message that our players would say is keep pounding.
All season long, the Panthers have preached taking it one game at a time. Now they find themselves one win away from the Super Bowl.
A lot of these guys in this locker room have never been in this position, and I think we're going to handle it with the right way and the right attitude, and I think we're going to be right where we need to be.
Josh, what does this one mean, man? Man, it's awesome, man. The best feeling in the world, man. Gosh, we so blessed and fortunate, man. God's so good, man. Look at this, man. Glory. I can't really talk because I'm so emotional right now. It's great. It's great, man. It's surreal. I can't do it one time.
Super Bowl week is finally here, and the Panthers are all business.
We're not just going. We're going to win.
6 months of work. 17 grueling weeks of the regular season and 2 landmark playoff wins.
We've all been fighting for each other since day one.
It all boils down to Sunday.
We'll refuse to settle.
Coming into the season, we had so many people saying that, our season was over once Kelvin went down, and our offense was gonna be bad, and this and that. But we stuck together as a group, man, and that's one of the big reasons why we're able to sit here and talk to you today.
I am a little nervous because this is the first time the national media's given the Panthers some respect, and that worries me. I think we like to be underappreciated.
Really happy for the ownership of the teams, happy for the players, and really all the alumni, the fans. Handing those balls off to the fans is really building the fan base of, young Panther fans that will always follow this team and always be connected.
Let me get a group picture here real quick. Everyone lean into my camera. Hey, everybody look into my camera, please.
The Panthers locker room at Levi Stadium, courtesy of the team's wide receivers coach. You can see jerseys and equipment hung, even some of the players walking through. And this is a look inside the Panthers' final practice. It was a walkthrough ahead of the big game. According to the Pool report, the walkthrough lasted less than an hour, with the offense and defense working separately.
The teams have run through their warm-ups. They've checked the radios in their helmets. They are all ready to go. Kickoff just a few minutes away. And who knows, maybe the next time that you see us back out live, will be among the cheering Panthers fans.
This is the last thing fans will see before they come into the stadium. Cam Newton against Peyton Manning. Who will come out on top? We will find out shortly.
And sadly, Super Bowl 50 now ending with the Broncos victorious 24-10.
And I don't think the Carolina Panthers have played a game like this in a long, long time. They just weren't themselves. And it's all about trying to be yourself and not get too big. You know, it's a big stage and not get too hyped up and things like that. Who knows if that's affected them to this point. And it's tough to watch the confetti fly and the Lombardi Trophy being awarded to a different team because it just felt like this was the Panthers' year. Again, they just didn't seem themselves. Cam Newton was running for his life all night, sacked 7 times, hurried 16 times, which if you don't know is just an astounding number. He was hit 12 times, and they had 4 turnovers, 3 fumbles, and an interception. It ended in a disappointing 24-10 loss. Josh Norman on the sideline in tears after this. An emotional Panther group has to regroup.
I mean, we had our opportunities. It wasn't nothing special that they did. We dropped balls, we turned the ball over, gave up sacks, threw errant passes. That's it. They scored more points than us.
The fans were walking out of the stadium, some with tears in their eyes, some just wanted to get away. Others, though, wanted to talk. They wanted to both vent about how frustrated they were with this game, but also to talk about how proud they were of this team in making this run after last season. And as we talk with those fans, in addition to them being so proud of their team, the prouder they were, the more upset they were that despite everything this team had going for them, it just wasn't going to go.
Some fans told me they were looking forward to taking the day off tomorrow to celebrate a Panthers win, but with the game shaping up the way that it was, they knew that they would probably get to save that sick day.
They stayed till the end. They cheered to the end. They love their Panthers, guys.
Well, despite an unsuccessful Super Bowl 50 for the Carolina Panthers, the city's still very much proud of their team. As we take a live look from Chopper 9 Sky Zoom, you can still see our buildings in blue in support of the team that really unified the city and both Carolinas. We're still proud of them tonight.
We don't know what he's accused of.
Investigation involving Richardson.
Workplace misconduct.
Internal investigation.
Internal investigation.
Scathing account.
Committed misconduct.
That's pretty shocking.
Biggest bombshell in a weekend full of them. 7 hours after a lengthy Sports Illustrated report detailing Panthers team owner Jerry Richardson's alleged workplace misconduct, the man who brought the NFL to the Carolinas announced he was selling the team. It was 10 minutes before kickoff today that Sports Illustrated published a scathing account of misconduct from the 81-year-old Richardson, which included allegations of inappropriate sexual comments and touching, the use of a racial slur towards an African-American team scout, and cash payouts tied to non-disclosure agreements. The next obvious question is who will buy the team and will they move it out of Charlotte? It seems unlikely he would sell to someone who planned on relocating the franchise. No discussion with potential buyers will occur until the Panthers season is complete.
For now, the Cats have new life just more than 24 hours from their first matchup of the postseason. But while Panthers players hit the field in New Orleans, some of Charlotte's business people are crunching the numbers.
We're just doing it because we think long-term is a good investment.
The names most often mentioned as serious bidders, billionaires David Tepper, Ben Navarro, Michael Rubin, and now Alan Kestenbaum.
And there's been different rumors that there's 6 bidders and then there's only 3 serious bidders.
News this afternoon, the deal is now done and the Carolina Panthers officially have their new owner. The team sent out word late this afternoon that the sale to David Tepper has now been finalized. The hedge fund manager bought the team for a record $2.2 billion. It's now his house.
The Panthers appear to now have an owner in David Tepper with a big personality. Unlike Richardson, one who doesn't seem camera shy.
Do you color that hair, or is that a real haircut? Because I'm thinking of doing something for myself here.
This morning meeting at the South Carolina governor's mansion, a game changer in the making for the Palmetto State.
And will include an estimated investment of at least $150 million within a 4-year period.
South Carolina is the best place to work and to live and to play football. And we're going to do this, and we're going to do it right.
Rock Hill's Mayor John Geddes called the Panthers announcement not just a game changer, but transformational.
There's a big world out there, and I think a lot of people in our community don't quite realize how big that world could be.
2 states, 1 team. The Carolina Panthers Stadium might be in Charlotte, but their impact is being felt throughout the Carolinas. The team is on a mission. In one day, they targeted 25 different communities, building homes, reading to kids, encouraging kids to get active, all while bringing a smile to people's faces across the 2 states.
Just to see, like you said, the impact that, to this community, not only myself, because I don't want to take all the credit, man, just for everybody showing their love and support, my teammates coming out, and it's a culmination of a lot of things, and everybody supporting each other.
This has been a very supportive community, and Stephanie and I really believe that we need to get in the community to give back and say thank you.
I have a philosophy just generally from other parts of my life. If you're going to try to do something, you try to be your best. You try to be your best in this way, what we're doing here today, or you try to be the best in the field.
This is the evolution of what was, just a football team. You make it more than just a Sunday afternoon on this field. You make it an event. You make it a destination.
The team is so important to this city, to this, to the Carolinas. Even when they have their down seasons, they still provide a lot of excitement. It's all across the Carolinas. The team is the Carolinas.
From dream to team. But the dream did not end with the creation of the Carolina Panthers. It lives on with every fan beyond the stadium. That continuing dream to keep the Carolinas a place to start a legacy, to plant roots, and to make history.